As always, we're giving something away at the end of the show, so make sure to put your questions into our chat, and we'll get to answering as many as we can. If there's anything that we can't answer, we'll always get back to you. What are we giving away today?
We are giving away one of the Jepson 14-inch dry cut saws standing right next to you.
Awesome, awesome. And what's the other one we're looking at today?
We have a Femi 782 XL bandsaw.
Perfect.
Yep.
Good stuff. So before we get right into the cutting, tell me a little bit about the setup on this.
Sure.
I didn't help you.
No, that's okay.
You came in before me. I had stuff to do today.
Yeah.
I was very busy. So 10 minutes, really easy, out of the box?
Out of the box, both of these guys 10 minutes. They're all set up to cut right out of the box. You don't have to do any prep work. Basically, you're just deciding what you're going to cut, setting it up in the jig, and away you go.
Easy.
Yeah.
Awesome. What are these things?
What are what things? These guys.
These guys in the middle, right there.
So these guys, these are for the Jepson. So what you've got here is, this is a bed replacing the standard bed you've got, so you can do angle cuts, and it's for holding extrusions. So oddly shaped items, something that's maybe octagonal, and aluminum extrusion for building different things. A lot of CNC work is, extrusions running along forth, so they're going to use something like that to hold it down. It's got kind of a cam lock feature on it here.
Yeah.
Keep everything set. And this guy is for cutting something like a thin C channel or something like that. You can adjust the depth of cut here. It's going to go into the clamp, and it's going to hold it, and it's going to stop the material from walking in on itself, and that way it's going to want to turn when you're cutting.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So before we get into all the cool cutting, what is our safety?
Safety is PPE. So we're going to have gloves, we're going to have eyewear, and we're going to have ear protection.
That's right. So the gloves and the ear protection are for the cutting mostly. I'm going to put my glasses on because you're going to be doing all the cutting.
Sure.
Which one do you want to start with?
You know what? Let's just do a quick cut with the Jepson.
All right. Let's cut some metal. I'm going to switch spots with you.
Sure. We'll just do a straight cut, and we'll get back into some of the other features and whatnot.
Perfect.
Okay, we're going to do some 1-inch square tube. It's a quick release fence. Snug it up, and we'll cut.
Here we go.
That's my fault. Apologies for that.
That's awesome. So it's not butter, but it cuts like butter.
It does cut like butter. I had that fence set up for something we were cutting previously. My mistake.
Okay.
Let's move it over a little bit. We'll get
It's a bit of trial and error, right?
Yeah,
we
we'll get
figure
a
it
nice
out.
clean cut on it.
Okay, I'm going to keep my glasses on then. Can I ask you a question before we keep going?
You certainly can.
Does Princess Auto sell the replacement blades?
We do, yep. We have blades for both, and then we have, this is a 90-tooth blade that comes on the Jepson. We have a 96-tooth for aluminum, and we have singles and 5-packs of the bandsaws in stock.
Awesome. While we're on the subject of aluminum, when you say metal, do you just mean that it only cuts aluminum?
Nope, you can cut any ferrous or non-ferrous metal into plastics, composite, brass, copper, steel, stainless steel, alloys, aluminums, those kind of things. You can cut, plastic piping with it, all kinds of different things. Yep.
Very cool. Keep the questions coming in, guys. As always, we're going to be giving something away at the end of the show, so your questions enter you into the draw, and we are going to be giving away this Jepson 14-inch dry cut saw. About $1,300.
Somewhere like that.
It's on sale right now at Princess Auto, though. $9.99.
It's a birthday present.
Yeah, birthday
Absolutely.
present. I wouldn't say no to that. You wouldn't say no to that.
I wouldn't say no to that
we
at all.
We just had some birthdays, both 25.
Yeah,
still.
That's right.
All right, let's keep cutting.
In the ballpark.
This is live action. I want to see some action.
Yeah, we'll get it cut, and then we'll set up something on the table here.
Cool. Nice. That looks good.
Yep.
I got questions for you as usual.
Open it up.
Can you cut ceramic tile?
You cannot cut ceramic tile with that. No, something like that, you'd have to do something with a diamond blade,
Yeah.
tile cutter. Yeah.
Okay, cool, cool. Here, let me just change up all my glasses. There we go, and we're good. So what is the maximum shaft size that either saw can effectively cut?
Sure. Well, I have that right around here. Let me grab that. There's a lot of information here, so let's see. So, Jepson, maximum cutting on an angle is at 90 degrees. That's just your normal straight chop cut.
Yep.
4.9 inch. That's a pretty big piece of angle.
Yeah.
Round, 5.5 inch. Square, 4.9, so almost 5 inch again.
Good.
And rectangle, 4.13 by 6.25 approximately.
Cool.
Yeah. And then at 90s, you're a little bit less than half or around half of that, right? Depending on what you're cutting.
Yeah.
And the Femi, we have round, 4 1/8, of course at 90 again, 90 degrees. Rectangular, 4 3 3/8, and on square, 4 3/8.
Nice.
So that's pretty big.
So you guys got all of that, right?
Yep.
You guys were all paying attention. Perfect. Do you want to play with this one?
Yeah, for sure. So we have the bed set up.
Yeah.
Here, we'll
Switch
trade
her up.
places. Yeah.
Okay.
We've got the bed set up here. So the bed and the protractor, those are kind of add-on items. They don't come with the saw out of the box, but they're really nice. Turning it into a vertical plane. So like we're going to notch a piece of tubing to, kind of replicate something you'd be fabricating on a wagon or something you'd be building, or something for a hot rod maybe.
Right.
Little bed frame, and yeah, it's a nice clean cut. It's got a safety strap on it, so you don't have to hold on to the on power switch when you're operating as you normally would in the chop. So I'm going to put that on like so.
I'm going to catch us up. So before you go,
Sure.
If you're just tuning in, this is Princess Auto's See It Work. Amy and Derek here testing products live in action. Today we're cutting metal. And if you put your questions in the chat, you can enter to win one of these at the end of the show.
Yeah. All right,
Let's
so
do it.
I put the band on. That's going to hold everything on. So we're just basically going to hit it on the power. So it's going to run.
How's that looking?
I think somebody's on our line. I think we tripped the breaker.
We got breaker problems.
Yep.
Okay, so why don't I ask you a bunch of questions, because
Yep.
we got a lot of viewers
Sorry,
with a lot
folks.
of questions.
We're sharing a studio here, and we're on a shared line.
All right, so as we said before, don't make toast and cut metal at the same
No.
time.
Yeah.
Stuart would like to know, how many amps does the dry saw pull? Could his Ford F-150 inverter, his Tux says 33 amp, 400 watts?
So this guy is 120 volt. The Jepson dry cut here next to Amy is 120 volt at 18 amps. Can be run on a 15 amp circuit, not a problem. If you're really going to load it up or push or you do a lot of cutting, obviously a 20 amp breaker would be ideal. And this guy here is 120 amp, or 120 volt, sorry, just about 9 amps. So easily any kind of household outlet, any shop outlet's going to have capability for that. So
What are, well, let's get into the capabilities a little bit more. One of the coolest things that I know about this is that after we cut, the blade is not hot.
no, they're both dry cut. So
Yeah.
the Jepson has a coating on it to help the blade stay sharp and stay cool. It has a 3-point stabilization as well to help it track straight, which is nice. It doesn't wander and get any hotter than it has to. And it is cool to the touch. You can put your hand on that after it stops moving. And the same thing with the bandsaw. You can just, right after the cut, you can pinch it as hard as you want.
Yeah.
And it's room temperature.
Very good.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, you want to try
Yeah,
again?
we'll
Did we
go.
reset? All right.
We reset.
Thank God.
Okay.
Well, can it cut bricks, Derek?
Sorry?
Can it cut bricks?
No.
Nope.
Nope. No kind of masonry.
Sorry,
or...
Rick, it does not cut bricks.
Nope. Unfortunately not. Okay. So.
Round 2.
Yep.
There we go.
Give it a go. That clamp's a little loose here.
Almost there.
I think I can't get that clamp. If you wouldn't mind coming around the corner and holding that clamp for me.
Yeah, you show me what you need. Let me put my gloves on.
Exactly. So all we're going to be doing is you're going to be taking the place of the switch there.
I get to keep all my fingers when we're done, right?
You do. Yeah, you're nowhere near the work surface.
All right,
so,
good.
yep. If you do mind, just put pressure on that, hold that on there. Okay.
That?
Yep. Okay. So.
Well, I did a great job.
You did a fantastic
job. You did a good job too. Yep.
If you could pass me that piece of 1-inch square tube that we cut over there in the corner.
Am I going too far?
This one right here.
I am, right?
Yep.
This one
Yep.
or this one?
Either or. Yep.
All right, we're going to go with that one.
Yep. And then, basically, nice little cope. So you can take that, MIG weld around, TIG weld around if you have to do something really specific. Or, for instance, if you've got some plate steel, you need to make yourself a little bracket. You need to notch something out. If you're going to put it in a brake, you're going to fold it over.
Yeah.
You want to make a relief cut or something like that. Just basically give it a trim, and then you're back in business.
Love it.
Yeah.
What's the maintenance like on these? And I'm going to guess it's sharpening the blades.
Yeah, I mean, sharpen the blade. The bandsaw, you can replace the blades. In some cases, depending on the tooth count, blades can be resharpened for bandsaws.
Yeah.
But again, that's all dependent on the tooth count.
Yeah.
Cleaning them, keeping them clean. If they're going to be in a really dirty environment, you can keep them covered up. And then just making sure that everything's running true, chips are cleaned out of it.
Yeah.
Try and keep everything as clean as possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I got a really good question here, and this is one that I definitely have thought of. So anybody that's watching this, this isn't sparkles. These are pieces of metal. So that's why you want to keep your gloves on. So of course, someone thinks like I do, and they asked, I'm going to quote it. Maria says, "My husband is messy." We're gonna just take a pause there. "My husband is messy. Can you hook a vacuum into the back of it?"
That one unfortunately cannot, but it does have, if you pull out that little tray right here.
There's a lot of assisting I'm doing today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Good thing we went over this first.
There's a chip tray, so the majority of your cut, there will be some chips flying around, but the majority of your cut's going out of that chip tray, which is nice because a lot of saws don't have that, so what you end up with a big pile underneath, and if it happens to be windy or you're not careful, then they end up on the floor. So something like that, you can take it when it's nice and tidy, dump it off into the garbage and put it back in, and you're ready to cut again.
Perfect.
Yep.
Not my favorite kind of chip tray, but I see where that's necessary. I'm on that.
I get that.
All right, Dean is asking, which one would be recommended for cutting railroad rail?
Neither of these are going to be large enough to cut a railroad tie, unfortunately, just due to the size constraints on them.
All right, Dave wants to know, wouldn't an abrasive blade work better for ferrous metals?
No, not necessarily. I mean, the dry cut, the benefits of the dry cut is the clean cut and obviously the cleanup. There's a little bit of cleanup to do with this, but with years of using abrasive wheels, they are extremely messy.
Cool.
Yeah.
Does it take a fiber disc chop saw blade? Will it take one?
No.
Nope.
No, it will not.
That is a no, Ryan. What else we got here? Murray, how does that tooth blade compare to a chop saw? He's comparing to one of the other SKUs that we have in the store with regards to leaving a clean edge.
Well, you'll get relatively clean edges. Now, depending on what kind of saw you're using, obviously these guys, they'll cut clean to the point, as you can see with some of the samples that we have here.
Yeah.
This is 2-inch square solid. There's really nothing to do. I mean, you could sand and polish if you wanted to, but you would be almost into a polishing finish at that point.
Right.
Very clean cut.
We did get a lot of questions about thickness. So we've done some hollow pieces because obviously they're a little bit faster and I'm impatient. I don't like to have a lot of time where I'm not getting to talk on See It Work. So does it need a different blade for rebar? What kind of thickness? Let's show them a really thick piece that we've pre-cut so they can kind of see
Sure. Yeah, well,
how
I mean,
that looked.
we've got a couple pieces here. This is kind of a
That
tube.
was a good one. Yeah. I cut that one.
She did?
So it's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And nice finish on that, right?
Thank
I mean,
you.
you can see there's a little tiny nick on the end there to clean off, but other than that, it's just flat. It can't catch my nail on that at all.
So it's good. It's good.
And then anything down to thin wall square tubing or angle channel, anything like that. Round bar, rebar, solid bar, keyed shaft. You don't need necessarily on some of the smaller diameters of solid. You don't need a specialized blade, but there are blades available for it, and it's specifically for solid steel if you're doing a lot of that.
Right.
Yep.
All right, so
I'm going to work on taking the table off real
You're
quick.
gonna do that?
You can keep
Okay,
going.
I'm gonna catch us up. So if
Yep.
you're just tuning in, this is Princess Auto See It Work. Amy and Derek here, testing products live in action. Today we're cutting metal with a bandsaw and a chop saw. Throw your questions into the chat and you can enter to win this. At the end of it, we'll be drawing a name. While you're doing that, of course, I'm gonna multitask you and ask you a couple more questions.
Sure.
How long does the original blade last? So we touched on this already.
Yeah.
Way longer than a cell phone charge.
Yeah.
So I know that one. But
Yeah.
go ahead and, what was it,
So
65?
in perspective, what I was told, and I haven't done this many cuts on it, 650 to 700 cuts on approximately 1.5 inch square tube with a little bit thicker than an 1/8 inch wall. So that's a little bit larger diameter tube than what we've been cutting.
Right.
But 650 to 700 cuts before sharpening, and it can be sharpened 5 times. So the life of the blade is quite long.
Good.
With a little bit of maintenance to it. So
Good. And let's get back into the power. So can we run something like this off a generator?
yeah, you could absolutely. If your generator has, just a standard kind of output. Ideally, I mean, for the chop saw, you'd want something with maybe a 20 amp output. But
Sure.
that's for sure. I mean, any small 3,000 or 2,000 watt generator, absolutely.
Okay, so that was a good question for Adam. And we're gonna cut some angles today. These both do 45s, right? What do we?
Yeah.
What are we
So
gonna show off?
let's see what we've got. We've got a nice piece here.
Okay.
Just a little piece of stock. Drop it in there.
Do that
And
one.
with this guy, you've got a depth stop. So let's say you want to make a bunch of legs, right? You want to make them a certain length.
Yeah.
You can set your depth stop and you can cut 2 or as many as you need, and they're all going to be the defined length as long
Okay.
as you've got room, for the stock to go in there and enough stock to cut. You're laughing.
Good. I got one more question for you, and then let's run something. Let's
Sure.
test some more product. Ricardo would like to know, how should you clean the loose shavings? Is it safe to just run the vacuum hose over the top of the tools without anything coming loose, or?
No, absolutely. You can
Yeah.
you can run a shop vac over it. You can sweep it all into a pile and into the dustbin.
Yeah.
Whatever's easiest for you.
See, I like that. Ricardo doesn't sound like a messy guy.
Nope.
Oh, that's good. All right, are we
All
good
right.
to go?
Got to keep clean. Yeah.
Okay.
Got your ear and eye protection on.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
well,
don't. I
safety
have
first.
one set of glasses. Now we're good to go.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll
All right.
throw my ears on too. I don't find it that loud.
It's not that loud. no.
Honestly, the louder it is, the cooler it is.
In a closed shop, though, you want to be careful, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, good to go.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So let's take a look at that. Fresh cut.
All right, I'm gonna take all my safety stuff off. How's that look?
Looks real nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
How's that blade feel?
Nice and cool.
Nice and cool.
I'm pinching it as hard as I
Yeah.
possibly can. I don't
Yeah.
even feel any heat from it.
Good, good. That's how it should be.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, you ready for another question?
Sure, let's go.
No oil or water needed.
Nope, not at all.
That's right, no
Dry
lubricant.
cut, no mess.
That's right.
Yep.
And how do you sharpen the blade? I know we touched on it a little bit.
Yeah, it would be a
Circle back.
professional, typically a professional saw sharpening service. Say that
Say that 5 times
I know,
fast.
right? But yeah, that's probably your best bet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Derek, if you could take one home, which one would you take? Can you even choose?
That's a tough one. I do a lot of metal cutting at home. I have a small floor model bandsaw, but chop saws, they're fast. I don't know.
Both?
I'll take them both. Yeah.
The world is your oyster,
It's up to
Derek.
you. You tell me.
You work at Princess Auto. We're going to take both of them home.
Belated birthday present?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'll work on that.
Yeah,
I'll work
sure.
on that for you. Stephen, is it 120 volt or a 240 volt?
They're both 120, so
There
they're
we
both standard household outlets.
Yeah, good stuff. Ooh, the questions are just flying in. Are there mounting holes to rigidly mount the saw?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Both of them can be mounted permanently. To the weight, really quick, I'm just going to go over it because that was really impressive. This is quite light, very portable. It is, let's see here. The Jepson is just over 60 pounds.
Okay.
And we are at, let's see, 41.5 pounds for this. So when you get it down, lock it in place, lift it right up, it's completely portable. I mean, to make it a little bit more
Yeah.
friendly for storage, you could take off the feedstock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take one more question and then we're going to cut some more metal because
Okay.
that's my favorite part. All right, so does the chop saw have ooh, I don't, Derek, what is this word? Last question.
Spline shaft or a shear pin? I don't know, but I'll tell you what.
That's some terminology. Can you share the question with the, thank God for Derek?
So does it have a spline shaft or a shear pin? So we've got our help at Jepson on the line.
That's right.
They can chime in and help us out, and we'll find that out for you.
So we do have Jepson, and we do also have Femi on our chat today, and they're helping us out, answering all the questions that sometimes Derek can't answer. And I think we stumped Derek.
It's happened.
Who stumped Derek on there? We're gonna have to, I think that was George. Good job, George. All right, I've got one more question here, and then we're gonna cut some metal. I keep saying it, but they just keep coming in. You guys are good. Do they come with an optional stand?
Currently, no.
Okay.
I think Jepson, there is a stand for it. I'm not sure about the Femi, but Jepson, there's a stand. We don't offer the stand though, but there is one available if you were interested in doing that.
All right, so we're gonna do, what are we doing next?
We're gonna do, actually we're gonna cut another piece of plate here with the chop saw, and it's really neat.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, so I'm gonna switch spots with you.
Sure, we'll get gloved up.
Safety first. All right, ready?
Yeah. So I'm going to take out, we have this little brace that comes with the Jepson saw, and that's for cutting round or square or angled profiles. It helps keep it so it doesn't turn while you're cutting. It just slides onto the jaw. So we'll put this into place here. We'll use our depth stop. And we'll just cut a sliver off of this. Okay, and get the ear protection on.
Yep.
All right.
Too high.
Yep, it might be. I'll have it the other way. Hang on a second. I cut it the other way earlier.
Sideways? Yeah, there you go.
There we go. Okay.
Nice. The sparks just make it even cooler.
So, like that's just clean as a whistle.
How's the blade feel?
Blade feels good.
Good?
Yeah.
Awesome. Somebody asked us,
No heat there at all.
why are the blades cold? What's the space technology explanation there, Derek?
Well, the coating on the blade on the chop saw is there also to keep it, like say, to keep it cool. It's a slow speed, right? So you're at about 1400 RPM no load. So whereas you on an abrasive chop saw, you're going to be spinning faster, maybe somewhere in like 35, 100 RPM or more than that.
Okay.
So it will be a little bit quieter. It's going to run a little bit cooler, but then again, carbide cuts cleaner as well.
Okay.
Not as much friction, that kind of thing. So it's going to help everything keep really cool.
Cool.
Yep.
Gary really wants to know if it can be handheld.
No.
Sorry, Gary.
No, we do have a smaller version of the Jepson, almost like a large circular saw, a 9-inch.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, and that can be handheld as well. So if you have some on-site cuts that you can't bring over to a table or something like that.
Some portable metal cutting on your way to and from work that you need to get done. Get that one done.
Certainly.
All right, cool. Do they come with an optional stand? I think we covered that, right?
No, we don't have anything available. I know there is one for the Jepson. I'm not sure about the Femi, but you know, any portable work stand you can make it adapt to.
Is the bandsaw a direct drive?
That I'm not sure. I know it's electromagnetic, so there is no a contact, right? Helps the blade keep cool.
Cool.
But Femi can jump in and help us with that.
That they can. All right. What about the bandsaw? Can that be handheld?
No.
It's a little heavy.
Yeah, it's table mount, but you know, it can be stood up in the vertical position, right? So I mean, it's got some adaptability.
Cool. Yep. All right. Let me get to. There's a big one here. I'm just gonna. I have to make some repairs using an abrasive blade to cut the square steel. I did this all on my asphalt driveway. After finishing, I swept everything up. Now, a year later, my driveway has a large rust stain that's about 2 feet.
Right.
Not sure how to clean it. Any recommendations? That's from Nome.
Yeah, I've been there. Try some vinegar and a scrub brush, a steel scrub brush or something, a heavy nylon scrub brush if you can. There are other chemicals you can get for that kind of cleaning, but basically what it is, it's just the very fine particles that you couldn't sweep up turned into rust, right? The metal's rusted.
Perfect. Why don't we take a second, just cover the warranty here?
Sure. Well, we've got a year warranty on both of these guys in the store, but if anything goes wrong, like with everything else at Princess Auto, if something happens in the future, we'll try and take care of it.
That's right. Royal service. Yep. Awesome. Cool. Okay, I'm going to scroll up a little bit more. do the blades need to be conditioned for a while before full service? I was looking for that one because
No, I
to
mean,
remember
with
it.
anything, I mean, you're hopefully not going to hop in and lay a lot of pressure on it. I mean, the big trick with the dry cut saw is once you're actually getting your cut, let's say we're cutting in through, you know, a tube. Once you
Hollow
get,
tube.
yeah,
Okay.
once you get in there and the teeth are actually been contact through the top face, they're cutting the sides, so it's actually the teeth are inside the tube.
Yeah.
Then you can start to apply a little bit more pressure. You don't want to lean on anything necessarily. You want to dry, just slow cut. It's going to help the saw blade last sharper longer. And the same thing with the bandsaw. You can apply some pressure. You've got your handle to drop it. There is no automatic feed on it, so
Right.
you're the one who's applying the amount of force to cut. It's like anything else. Something really thin, it's going to cut super quick.
Yeah,
But something heavier, more heat generated, blade wear, that kind of thing, you'd want to keep it as slow as possible.
Sure,
Right?
and it'll take a couple minutes.
That's right.
Yep,
Yep.
we did that together.
Yeah, I think the 2-inch square bar was 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes.
I
something
timed
like
it.
that.
Yeah, I counted
Yeah.
the seconds. That's
Yeah,
about right.
That's right. Yeah, we had the timer running.
Give or take a cheesy break.
Yep.
All right. So Cheryl is wondering, are these good projects for beginner DIYs? Her 17-year-old son's just getting into woodwork and metalwork.
Yeah.
I want to say yeah.
Sure.
Make
Well,
sure he's got
absolutely.
the safety equipment first.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like they're expensive machines, but they're quality machines. I mean, there's no replacement for quality. And the portability is they can be moved, they can be stored if something isn't being left on a table and in a shop environment.
Yeah.
It can be tucked out of the way, so it's not in anybody's way, and mom and dad aren't upset if he's in the garage working on something. But yeah, I mean the portability and especially for the bandsaw, because if you look at a bandsaw with a similar throat size,
Yeah.
you're into a floor model, and that takes up a lot of floor space.
Right.
Can't really put it anywhere for the winter unless you have a shed or something like that. So this could be put up on a shelf, taken down to the basement even, stored somewhere in a closet if
Yeah.
you're not using it. So, I mean, absolutely, it's a great start.
I wanted to talk a little bit about storing. So we talked about maintenance already. We already covered you're going to want to be keeping the blade
Mm-hmm.
sharpened. How are you going to store it? Like, you want to put it in your shed in your winter in Manitoba where it rains
Yeah.
and snows 9 months out of the
I
year?
mean,
or-
ideally it depends. I mean, if your garage is, you're lucky enough to have a heated shop,
Yeah.
or if it's obviously a fab shop like we're in right now, humidity level is low, temperature is regulated. That's really great. But you don't want any, rust or corrosion or anything to build up over time
Yeah.
on any of the surfaces that, the blade obviously is going to get wear on it, so
Right.
it's going to have, coating rubbed off on it. So I mean, ideally, if you can keep it, if you have a really damp shop, I know there's some
Sure.
shops that are, right? If there's a lot of ambient humidity in the air and
Yeah.
they're not really sealed properly, you might want to take care of that. There is product you can put on saw blades and saw decks and things like that.
Yeah.
That rust block, we stock that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So one thing we noticed, a lot of sparks coming out of that one. So I think we would want to change that blade. Jepson's saying maybe we change the blade up because it shouldn't have too many sparks. So we
Yep.
can always take a look at that.
Yep.
I don't know if that's something we've got time to do now, or we can show how
I
to change
don't
the
have
blade.
a spare blade. I didn't bring a
Okay.
spare blade with me, but
See,
we can
now
do
we got to
that.
make a trip to Princess Auto.
That's right. Yeah.
That's how we keep you coming back.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we grab a spare blade, we change that up a little bit.
Yep.
There should be a little bit less sparking in there. Okay, no problem. Have you ever tried cutting chrome shafting with either saw?
No, I have not. I cut some chromoly tubing. I had a piece of it here somewhere, a little tiny piece.
Keep your workstation organized.
Yeah,
guys.
we had some chromoly tubing. I mean, it's not chrome steel, but
Okay.
it's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Have you ever tried, oh no, there we go. You can use mineral oil to protect stuff. Is that right?
Yeah, you can.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Gary. Gary's a really great participant today. Like that. Is a bandsaw hand weighted when cutting?
No. Well, I guess depending on how you're asking the question,
Yeah.
you're applying the drive to it, right?
Yeah.
The force to cut. So your hand is supplying there isn't a shock or a spring or something that's allowing
Sure.
it or weight to drop it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we're going to take one more question because I know the answer to it. And then I think we need to cut something else with this one because I've
Sure.
been holding it up a little bit.
Yep.
So Heather is just wondering if we offer an extended warranty on these. So they both have a 1-year warranty. Anything beyond that, you come into Princess Auto. We're going to take care of you. We're going to provide royal service and we'll work it out.
That's right. Yep.
That's right.
Absolutely.
I like hearing that.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So you want to do this one next?
Yeah, let's trade places. I'll come
What
around
are
the
we
front, you go
cutting?
around the back. I've got the piece, so we'll cut some chromoly with the bandsaw.
Done.
Yeah. All right.
Does the chop saw lock in the down position for storage?
It does, yeah. Both of
Good
the saws
question.
lock down. Here, I'll lock the chop saw real
Let's
quick.
show that. Yeah, that's for Ben. Thank you,
So
Ben.
there is a safety lever on the chop saw, which is nice. So it is a right-hand operation. This lever will unlock a lever at the back, and then you have 2 points of contact to turn the switches on. Just a little bit safer than standing hanging over the right-hand side and possibly getting hurt.
That's good. Now I can see over.
That's right.
See what you're doing over there, Derek. Make sure you're doing everything safely.
Vertically challenged.
Yeah, just a little bit.
All right.
Just a little. We all have our challenges.
That's true, don't we? Yep.
I don't have my Apple box today because I have to move around too much.
All right.
Okay, you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Let's cut some metal.
Let's cut some metal.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. Get down there.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Let's show how that looks.
Let's show that guy.
Gorgeous.
See that?
Did a good job.
It's good,
Nice
yeah.
and smooth.
And the nice thing about the bandsaw is that the bed is static, but the saw will actually pivot for your miter cuts.
Yeah.
And on the other saw, if that's in place, you can easily slide the miter bed over and make your 45s or 15s or whatever you need to do.
Very
Make
cool.
a table frame, whatever.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Guys, make sure to keep your questions rolling because at the end of this, we're going to be doing a draw and somebody's going to be taking home one of these for free. Retail price, I think we said it already, $1,300.
$13.99, something like that.
On
Isn't that
sale
price?
right now though
Yeah.
at Princess Auto. Make sure you check us out. All right, I got some more questions for you.
Sure.
The questions don't stop, Derek.
Okay.
Okay, can you show the bandsaw cutting in the upright position with the table? Is that something that we can do right now?
Sure, yeah, give me a quick
Great.
second here. That's
All
no
right,
problem.
you got 2 seconds. Can you answer questions while you do it?
I'll try my best.
Of course you. How wide is the throat on the bandsaw?
Why does the throw the bandsaw? 4 1/8 cutting capacity.
Look at that, he didn't even have to check his notes. You're a smart guy, Derek.
It's written on the bed, I'm not gonna lie.
Laura's wondering, does my shop need to be well ventilated to use these?
Not really. There's really no smoke or any kind of off-gassing or anything from these guys.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're cutting, I will say, if you're cutting some plastic, it could get a little smelly, right?
Sure.
But yeah, no, typically not.
Cool. Does it work with aluminum without buildup or burn?
Yes.
Burn. Oh, no, burn. Just burn. And yes, it does. Good question, Gary. All right. Cheryl is wondering, what is the weight of each of them? They both look pretty heavy. I know we covered it. I feel
Yeah,
like
we
you
did.
said
This
40 and
was
60.
the bandsaw was 41.5 pounds, and we were just a hair over 60 on the chop saw.
So not too bad.
Not too bad. Not
Couple
for a
cats.
big unit like that.
Not so bad. All right. Gary really likes the red saw, and that one is the Femi 782 XL,
Yep.
right?
Absolutely.
Good stuff. And okay, so what we're gonna
Yeah.
do is I'm gonna get you guys to keep rolling your questions in so that one of you is gonna win one of these. While we do that,
Yeah, I'm just adjusting the.
Derek's
what
adjusting.
I'm doing is I'm helping the blade and saw assembly stay upright. So it's just supporting it against the table here, and there's a leg to add more support. So it is very stable when you're cutting. It's not going to shake or drop or anything like that. Last thing you want it to do is when you start to cut is everything starts to wander because the blade goes off center.
yeah, we don't need that. Nope. So we're gonna set that up, do one more cut, get some more questions in, and then we're gonna do a draw for the winner for one of these babies. And I'm gonna just keep bugging you with questions.
Sure.
So are there any other safety features we should know or add? Number one thing is make sure your workstation's organized, make sure all your cables are not something that you're gonna be tripping over. It was pointed out today that Derek and I are very well choreographed, which we already know. But we've done a very good job of making sure we're getting around the table. Make sure your workstation is organized on top, and of course you're gonna want your glasses, your goggles, 100%.
Yep.
The gloves when you're cutting, and for your ears, I mean, I think loud is cool, but this is safe, so make sure you got these on too.
That's right.
Other than that,
Yeah, so we're going to cut a little bit of a bevel here. I've
All
set
right.
the protractor up. We'll get one of our previous cut pieces of 1 inch here.
okay, and what TPI blade comes with the bandsaw? What is the blade size?
Bandsaw, 8.5, it's 52.5 inches long by a 1/2 inch, and it is 8.5 teeth per inch.
How does he remember this?
I had it written down.
Oh, smart guy.
Yeah.
All right, good to go?
Yep.
Let's do it.
All right, we're on. I'll just make sure my automatic switch is on. Let's just do a blade test.
So if you're just tuning in, this is Princess Auto's See It Work. Amy and Derek here, and he just finished cutting what looks like a slice of cheese, but it's a piece of metal.
No heat there.
No heat on that blade?
No heat on the blade, no.
Sorry, I cut you off a little bit.
That's okay, that's not a problem. So we've got a little bit of a miter. Like I say, if you're doing, a couple 45s, you can get a nice 90 to make a little table frame, or you're gonna make something octagonal or something odd shaped, do a little bit of a slice, spin your piece around as you need to.
Cool. Ben has a good question. Are the bandsaw blades a standard size in case we need to use another vendor in case of an emergency, in case Princess Auto was closed?
To my knowledge, they're specific to the size of the saw. So we have two different Femi saws, and this one obviously is specific to the 782.
Right.
If a vendor would have one in stock, I don't know. It depends on the vendor supply.
Okay, good. Sorry, I'm just gonna. I know you don't.
That's all right. I have no requirement.
I'll do the eyebrows too, but
I have no requirement for that at all.
The glass is on and off.
Nope.
Okay. All right. So can it do pattern cuts at all?
Pattern cuts. I mean, you can use the flat saw or the flat table to, cut notches, V's, whatnot. Nothing circular. You could do angled notches and things like that, but I think you'd have to stick to straight angles.
Great. You want to cut one more thing?
Sure. What do you want to cut?
I don't know. Something.
What do we got over here?
Something quick. I mean, we don't want to take up everybody's time all day. I'm sure we could all sit all day and cut metal, but something a little speedy, and then we're going to draw for a winner.
I've got some angle. We'll cut on the Jepson here.
Okay.
I'll just put the guide in, get my gloves.
Are there other blade TPI available?
To my knowledge, no.
No. All right. That's a no, Doug. Let me just scroll up one more time. I had another question in here. Can the bandsaw cut laminate?
I don't see why not.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That should be super easy.
That was for George there. That was a good question. All right, cool. Okay. What's the power amp for these? Let's go through that one more time.
So motor amperage on the Jepson is 18, and on the bandsaw is just under 9.
Okay.
So standard household outlet on that. 20 amp service would be ideal for this guy here.
Awesome.
All right.
Okay, so we're going to do this cut.
Yep,
Keep your questions coming in, and then we're going to draw for a winner.
Back in.
Byron just joined and is wondering what's the ampage, how much space or room for objects to cut, like how big of an object can be cut on the bandsaw? How big can we go?
How big? We went through our sizing. It's upside down right now, but throat depth on this in the standard chop. What do you got here? Let's see, round, 4 1/8, 4 3/8 in rectangular, and 4 3/8 by 3. 4 3/8 square.
Okay, perfect.
All right. Got all your gear on?
I'm ready.
You got
Let's
hearing
do
protection?
this. Oh.
There we go.
It just feels like it's on.
Wow.
Oh, there we go. Thanks, Derek.
No
Safety
problem.
first.
Safety first.
All right, you got your gloves?
Okay.
Let's do it. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So we're just going to touch on that one more time. So the blade, the sparks. So we did want to switch out the blade. We didn't bring an extra one with us, so the sparking shouldn't be that much, right?
Nope.
Yeah.
So that's about just under 1/4 inch wall, 2 inch angled, cut like butter.
Beautiful. It is like butter, but it's metal. All right, so let me take a peek. Maybe we'll take a look, see if we got a winner here.
Sure, yeah. Who's taking home the saw?
Who is taking, let's say it one more time. What is it?
The Jepson 14-inch premium dry cut saw.
There we go. It's easy. And the winner for that is Ben from YouTube. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you, Ben, and everybody else for your questions. Thank you to Jepson and Fengmi for joining in the chat, helping us answer all the questions, the very few questions that Derek couldn't answer. To everybody watching, thanks for tuning in. Make sure that you check us out next time for our very next exciting episode of Princess Auto's See It Work, where we test tools and products live in action. Amy and Derek here. You want to cut stuff as we roll out?
Might as well.
We might as well. It's what we're here to do. Let's cut some metal.
Let's do it.
Okay, safety back on.
Safety back on.
Okay, let's cut something really big.
Okay.
Okay. What you got?
Well, I'll put the 2 inch back in, I guess.
Okay. What? This? Yeah, that's the one. Let's cut the cheese. That one, right there.
Okay.
Okay.